All right, we got high limit weekend recap, a little dirt dollars segment talking about ACS Frontier ASCS, if I could say it right, Frontier Region and Colorado weekend preview, and a special guest announcement right here on the Throwin Sliders podcast. Stay tuned. Let's get it. All right, now that I got all the fumbling out of my mouth, I'll tell you what, the cold opens that Blair and I have started this year are, it's the same thing as being live. It's just right when you click that live button, like you're instantly talking. So I'll get better at them and I'll quit fumbling my words. But yeah, welcome back to another episode, episode 34. There's a place called Kokomo, and that's where you want to go, the old Beach Boys song. So Blair is actually going to talk about that. We just enjoyed the race together, watching it. That was pretty cool. They really got a tight ship there at high limit and got the show in. So as I mentioned last week, I'm actually going to pass to Blair, and he's going to give his intro first tonight, so I don't put him on the spot, and then he's going to pass to me. So without further ado, Blair.
I'm just going to let you introduce me from now on. I feel like that's super special. But yeah, I'm Blair Cooper, still here on the pod. Drive race cars, kind of. Crash race cars mostly, but anyway, that's it. I'm still here, so I still don't know what to say. And anyway, back at it.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah. Well, you could say I'm co-owner of Throwin Sliders podcast, Scrubbing Tires Media. We got to work on your media presence, buddy. You're a big time now. Shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's unsponsorable.
Unsponsorable. I'm Brandon Hall, co-owner of Scrubbing Tires Media and Throwin Sliders podcast, retired dirt car driver, and I just like to watch racing and talk shit is essentially what I do nowadays. So anyway, back to the show. I have been mentioning to, or I have been wanting to rather, to shout out Mr. Bryce Holcomb. He did the intro and outro videos for us again this year on the podcast. So great job, Bryce. And he's obviously a sponsored esports driver for us at Throwin Sliders Media. So we appreciate him putting on the all the stickers on the iRacing cars. They look great. He's actually a great painter for the cars, but yeah, he did all the intro and outro videos for us again. So thank you, Bryce. Appreciate that. So with that, don't have a guest for you tonight, but stay tuned for the rest of the show because we do have a special guest announcement, and you guys are going to love this one. Blair and I were kind of shocked that we got a response out of this person that we'll mention at the end of this show. But before we get into the high limit weekend recap, do you have to pay the bills? So thank you to Racing Rowdy Ranch, presenting partner again this year for the Throwin Sliders podcast. If you haven't already, go check them out, racingrowdyranch.com. Got a couple hats left, and we'll ramp that up as the season goes, get some more designs out there and so forth. So appreciate that. Give them some love, and we'll get into the high limit weekend recap.
Racing Rowdy Ranch was created with one person, one adjective, and one place in mind: the blue-collar racer and crew behind the scenes. A word that can describe these racers and crews and how they live. Finally, a place where the straightaways and turns are these racers' pastures and hills, all bordered by concrete walls that could share more than their fair share of memories, even after several coats of paint. We are racing. We live rowdy, and we long to be at the ranch, riding for the brand. An apparel company designed to showcase just that, push the limits every day, and be proud of who we are. Visit racingrowdyranch.com now to order yours today. Saddle up, strap in, and live rowdy. Proud presenting partner of Scrubbin Tires Media and the Throwin Sliders podcast.
There we go. Do I see we have a birthday in the comments? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, Danny's birthday was yesterday, so.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Danny, from the Throwin Sliders podcast. Good stuff. All right. Well, appreciate Racing Rowdy Ranch for that. We're going to get right into it. High Limit Racing, if you guys follow along, Blair and I are pretty partial to that racing series. They've been rained out a lot, unfortunately, this year, but they did have a lot of races since the yes, you do, Austin. We mentioned that last week. You need one of those hats. RacingRowdyRanch.com or message Blair and I will. We got some more down the pipeline, just trying to find time. But yeah, High Limit's been rained out a lot this year, unfortunately, but they did have a couple races over the weekend, Friday and Saturday. And as mentioned, Blair and I just enjoyed a hell of a finish, which he's going to get into at Kokomo. So Friday, they were at Lakeside, kind of in the Kansas region, probably tailored to Kyle Larson's schedule. They're racing with the Cup guys at Kansas Speedway, but hell of a race. If you guys didn't catch that one, came down to the end where there was a huge crash. Rico Abreu actually slid it in turn 3. Forget who he hit there on the inside.
Gary Madsen.
Madsen, that's right, in the red car, I believe. Anyway, Rico almost went tumbling, but he just kind of, the ass end came up and he drove off, and then Brad Sweet came flying in there, went end over end, and then Larson had nowhere to go, slammed into that, and it was just huge implications on the point standings for that series. I was telling Blair earlier, they shared a stat, Brad Sweet's second DNF in 3 years, which is just astonishing for any race car driver that races 5 times a week to only have 2 in 3 years. So anyway, Rico Abreu, even after, I would say, causing that incident, won the race. Pretty good race. And then on into Saturday at Tri-City, the return of Corey Day. Blair's not a big fan, but he's the next superstar.
I like him. I like his dad even better.
Yeah. Watching the Dirt 2 stuff on Flow Racing sheds a new insight to Corey and his family. So anyway, Corey, bad fast. He was on one tonight too until he broke. But yeah, it was good race by Corey. He's kind of, I feel like, taking a little bit of step back from the sprint cars with his Craftsman Truck Series and Xfinity starts and stuff like that. They're trying to obviously push him to be more than a sprint car driver. So he's kind of taking a step back, but anytime he's in the car, he's still bad fast. So he won that one. And yeah, I'll pass to Blair for what just ensued at Kokomo. That was badass.
Yeah. And for the record, I don't have a problem with Corey Day. I just always have liked to be like, if I wanted to be it, I'm so jealous of those guys. And then they get to that level and they're considered the guy that drives the hardest. I've just always wanted to be that guy. So I'll wreck it at our local show, just doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
To have that moniker. But Austin Gossel's in the chat. He also takes that one. He's always driving hard, but there's a lot of those guys out there. But yeah, this race we just watched, I mean, what a show. Kokomo, that's a place I'd love to go. Really good race.
Trying to rhyme or what?
No, it just happens. But I'm that skilled. I mean, I'm an advanced podcaster now.
Oh,
but that place pretty much seemed like around the top, 1 and 2, down on the bottom. Justin Peck led flag to flag almost, except for probably the last 15 feet, maybe 10 feet.
That. Yeah.
Rico Abreu snuck one out. He went to the top. Peck's, even in his post-race interview, said, I went to block the slider and it bit him. I mean, in that one, he said he said he choked on it about 5 times in the interview. I know that one he's going to be thinking about for a couple days. And now you need to come out and get a win because that just kills. They're so hard to get. And when you lose it like that, I mean, I don't blame him for what he tried to do, but man, I bet if he could have that one back, you don't get him back.
Yeah. And Blair and I were watching, and if you guys watch that live or you go watch a replay of it, and we'll try to post the finish there, but going into or coming out of 2, Peck kind of bobbled a little bit. And then you just see, because Rico was, I don't know, 4 car lengths back essentially the whole race, even though they had some late race cautions, but Peck bobbled, and then Rico just was on a rocket down the back straightaway, and you kind of like tensed up. You're like, here it comes. And yeah, Peck chose the bottom, and damn it.
Not enough drive off.
Great finish, though. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were talking. It's good to see. I think he's the only Ford in the field right now.
Yeah.
He's the last one. So, and he said they've stepped up that program for them now, probably just trying to hang on what's left. Maybe there's a few guys running 410 Fords around the country, but I definitely like to see a little bit of disparity in the motor builders, so it's kind of, I mean, I obviously run Chevy based stuff. Most guys do, but Fords, even the Toyota, just a little bit different, different looks at it and different ways of doing things. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And before we move to Blair's kind of comment about High Limit as a whole, wanted to mention that, it's a Monday night, no matter where you are in the United States, it's Monday night. And to see that great of a show, that great of a finish is awesome for the sport of sprint car racing. It's growing. Sometimes I'm a partial NASCAR fan. I still watch it religiously, but some of the finishes, yeah, I know, but some of the finishes are blah. And you have to wait all week, and it's a big event, and then you get a kind of a crappy product. Whereas you turn on Flow or Dirt Vision on a Monday night, and you're going to see a race that's probably better than some of the national stuff that you see on Sundays or Saturdays. So just wanted to point that out. But
and you and I jumped on, and it was like we were doing pre-show prep. We still got our pre-show prep done and watched the entire feature in 30 minutes. It was like, it's pretty cool. So
if High Limit could schedule every week on a Monday night, that'd be great. So we can watch that in the pre-show and have something to talk about. And they don't even pay us.
Yeah.
That'll be the day. No, I think Dirt Trackers got them covered there.
Yeah.
I mean, given that they're sponsored by Kubota and everything, anyway.
Yeah.
So tell us, you were talking, Blair brought up a good point about High Limit, so I don't want to steal your thunder. So yeah, take it away.
No, and maybe in the comments, if you guys, maybe everybody has I've always thought Outlaws was like, if you wanted to be top tier sprint car guy, that's where you went. I mean, that's what I watch. Even the name, all the logo, just badass. But I do think this season, it really seems like there's a disparity between the two that, to me, the World of Outlaws competition is still a little bit stiffer just because of car counts. They stay around the areas where they draw more cars, kind of in sprint car country, to where High Limit's ventured off. But what's been compelling to me about High Limit this year is the storylines, the new faces you're seeing coming up with some of the superstars. So it's not like it's any easier to win. It's just maybe a little bit harder to make the show with the Outlaws and run competitively. I mean, we saw even Rico didn't make the feature the other night with the Outlaws. But you've got these new characters, like the one that comes to my mind that I've heard more about this year and didn't even know who he was is Caleb Montgomery. And he's got the YouTube channel going, him and Tanner Holmes. I always call him like Tanner Holmes is Disney Plus and Caleb Montgomery's HBO After Dark, and
right.
It's pretty cool to see these guys take the time, make some content. You get to see a different side. And then when they come on, High Limit does a really good job of highlighting them, just like we talked about with the Dirt series. I'm getting to know these guys that I hadn't even heard of before. And then when they go out and perform, you're like, holy these guys are running and they're competitive, and it's not like it's easy. It's not like it's a lesser series. It's just, like I said, there's a few differences to where you get into Pennsylvania, there's just 1,000 410s. You get on the West Coast, you get a big mix of guys that don't run at a national level all the time.
Well, and I wanted to point out, you bring a good point that the World of Outlaws, I think, has a stiffer competition per analytics. Blair's a very big analytics guy, and he searched it, which I agree with. But I think the High Limit, the reason why is because it's a blessing and a curse for High Limit, because you're getting these local drivers. We've had a couple alumni, race in these High Limit shows. Gossel, being one of them, just because he's fresh in the comments. But that's a blessing and a curse, right? Because you'll get some of the local guys from that track, maybe previous track champions, just people in the area that, hey, I'm going to go start this race, and I got a pretty good chance I'm going to get paid $1,000 just to start it if I make the feature. But that also brings down sometimes the competition level. Whereas the World of Outlaws is like, that's the show, that's the traveling circus. Those are the high level NASCAR guys, so to speak, on the dirt. So to try to squeak your way in there, it's just not really going to happen. But so that's the curse for High Limit. But the blessing for High Limit is, like you just said, we're getting to know these, non-Brad Sweet, non-Kyle Larson type of guys that are making a name for themselves. And it may be, they won't win a championship ever in their life, but the content that they're putting out is amazing, right? We had Tanner Holmes on the show, and he's succeeding. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, he's fast now.
Yeah, the content is it's unmatched. Like, you cannot get more better content than what Tanner Holmes is putting out there, and other folks like you mentioned. But so it's a blessing and a curse. But I don't know. I'm still partial to High Limit, I think. And to Blair's point, he can touch on this, and I'll shut up. But the different avenues that you can watch High Limit, and you can touch on that, is out of control, like in a good way.
Right. Well, and that's one thing. Like, I don't have a Flow subscription. I mean, like we've talked about this. I even had to cut my Starbucks budget down because you crashed the car the first week, and now I'm drinking shit coffee every morning again. It's just like every dollar counts. But I do like to at least get some of that to where they'll show me. I can even watch qualifying and stuff like that to kind of get a sense. And you do learn about new guys. In fact, it rang a bell with me because my daughter lives in Ankeny, Iowa, and there was a guy there, and shit, he was like 7th quick in qualifying. I'd never heard of him. Car isn't all that stickered up, and he's, on the road away from home. So it's not like it's a home track and running competitively. And I was like, geez, that's cool. So you do get more of that, I feel like. But I mean, at the World of Outlaws, they've always had their local guys show up. It's just like, if they're from PA or somewhere, you already know their name generally. I mean, whether it's Dietrichs or guys like that, you hear so much more because the posse carries such a big fan base.
Right.
Where these guys out west, if you don't follow sprint car racing or racing, in general, like we do, then you've never heard of them, know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool too that, Brent Marks, part of that PA posse, is like so partial to High Limit because he's, he could easily probably run World of Outlaw. I think he has the talent.
Oh yeah.
But he's running with High Limit. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll actually put your wife's comment up there. She says, I think instead of thinking of it as a lower level, it's opened up the opportunity for your everyday racer and showcases the fact that they rip just as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because that's the hard part is you get guys, we talk about that all the time too, is there's guys that can race. They don't have the budget to travel, and that's always like a problem for me is if I get in the seat 20 times a year, that's a lot. I mean, it's just hard for me to do any more than that. And then guys, run 100 times a season. But if you got a guy that's dialed in and can really do it, I mean, it's like maybe they can get bigger budget. It was same thing with Montgomery to bring him up again. After his performances at the first 3 or 4 races, they extended whether it was his sponsor, he picked up another one, they extended and gave him a couple more shots at it.
Yeah. Well, that's all
that does always bother me. I think to my wife's point, because she's probably heard me rail on this 100 times is like when people ask you what you do, I'm like, well, I race, I also have my job, but I don't treat it like my professional job. I treat racing in the same avenue. I just don't do it solely for a living.
Right. But I feel like you have to be good at racing. Like when you're done with your 8 to 5, you go to the race car and you treat it just with the same professionalism, meticulous detail, etc. And the guys that treat it that way usually excel. There's exceptions, of course, but if you're taking as much time as you put into your day job or your family into racing, those usually you're going to do well. And instead of those guys that race it, don't even wash it off. Yeah, we'll be fine. I'll change the air pressures for next race. Will be all right. Usually that's not the case. So, and
you usually don't find that in sprint cars now. I mean, some of your local shows, you'll get guys that don't really, I mean, they don't do maintenance and stuff like they should, but I think it's whether, that's always one. It's like, well, if you don't, just because you don't do it for a living, and I think there's a really negative connotation put on that because I see a lot of guys that I know that I've raced against that could be professionals. I mean, they're just better than me or, you know what I mean? Like we're still in that learning phase, but I always figure that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to work at it till I've never been in anything where I'm not fast, or get fast at some point. And I think that's how most of these guys feel. And that's what makes it so hard too, is they're like, well, just because I don't do it for a living doesn't mean we even talked about that with Sammy, with the guy who drives a repo truck, got punched in the face the night before and then won at Port Royal. I mean, talk about a badass dude,
Yeah. I mean, to your point though, money and backing in the sport of racing is 9/10 of it, right? I mean, it's sad, but that's the way of the world. We've touched on that numerous times, but it is cool for these national tours to still include those, we'll call them no names, and they get a chance to go out there and actually show, what they got. So, but yeah, keep it up High Limit. It's good stuff.
I know that makes it fun because where else you can't just go walk onto an NFL. And now most of these guys, that's not like that. They're not just buying a sprint car and the next day going out and racing High Limit. But the fact that you can have a sprint car and then go race the best guys in the world, if you think you stack up, then you could put your money where your mouth is. And I mean, talk about like roll in and let your mouth write a check your ass can't cash.
Yeah. It'd be fun. And Blair and I were talking, if things were different in our current lives, if you were a young dirt racer with a little bit of backing, a little bit of money, not a lot, but I would go all in on High Limit because the amount of races that you're getting in a week and the national coverage, TV, airtime, and you're still making a little bit of money back just by starting the races. So that, I mean, it's awesome what they're doing. So
well, and that's even like also when we talked to Brian last weekend. I mean, they're running ASCS National Tour. It's like a 50 series or 50 show series and stuff. I mean, they have feeder series and shit. The competition at that. I mean, a lot of those guys' names, and Hafferty wins at Texas, or did he win?
Yeah.
Wins at Texas, and then shit, I'm following him at Lincoln County, Nebraska last year. It's like, so these guys are all over the place.
And he said in his interview at Texas Motor Speedway that I think he has like 4 kids now, but he's like, I just can't travel with budget and the kids now, and that's so it goes crazy. From
like get a babysitter.
Right. Yeah. Well, winning at the high limit series, and then Blair's racing him the next week, and that's just the world that it's come down to. But yeah, it is cool it's a small world, to say the least. So yeah, excited. But kind of a good segue to our next segment, which is Dirt Dollars. Before we play the cool little intro, do want to get fans engaged here. So High Limit is at Freemont Speedway in Ohio on Wednesday, and then they go to Ransomville Speedway on Friday. But we're going to talk about Fremont Speedway. I think it's their first time going there in what are they on 3 years of existence for High Limit. They have not gone there. And then the World of Outlaws is at Ohsweken Speedway in Ontario. I assume they've gone there before. I didn't do my homework too much on this one. But it's a 2-day show, so probably a lot of cars. I'm seeing a C main. I don't know what's going on, but it's just Spencer Baston. Good stuff. We're just going to mark her down for Spencer Baston every single race.
All season. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, if you guys got any comments, who you think's going to win, the odds unfortunately are not out. Blair and I were just talking about this. They usually come out a day before, if not the day of, because it's new. With NXT betting and DraftKings and all the forgot the other one, it slipped my mind, but there's like 5 different betting sites that you can bet on. Obviously Colorado is a state, fortunately, that we can bet on High Limit and World of Outlaw Racing. So again, brand new to this year, but hopefully they get the odds out in a more timely manner as we go along this year, so we can give you actual odds instead of just picking names out of a hat. But I think Blair and I and Tara, even though she's just going to pick one driver the rest of the year, I think we are capable of picking some drivers to see who we think is going to win. So without further ado, excuse me, we'll play the intro, and then we'll talk about Fremont and then Ohsweken. So here we go.
We have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen.
Get your bets down is right. All right, Blair, who you got? High Limit, Fremont. It's a 3rd mile racetrack in Ohio. Think about who's hot lately.
Well, I think he's going to be back with a vengeance, and it's going to be Peck. I think he's going to be going for broke now. I would. Yeah,
that's a bold move, but I can't argue that. That is, you could just, it was like someone just stole his dog at the end of that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh man, I know he's not going to sleep. I know that would just bother you for a couple races like that. And let me tell you, that feeling of winning that is, and I will just destroy it if I have a feeling they're coming. But he didn't even. He just lost it, and then I know that's going to eat him alive. So that's my pick. After tonight, checkers or wreckers.
And the good thing for Justin is they only got a day off, and it's going to be traveling over to Ohio, which is a state
one
away.
Day to think about it.
Yeah, and then it's back to it, so it's not like he's got a week. Like, yeah, he'd be a good one. Let's see. Tara's going with Spencer Baston. One of these times she's going to hit if she actually put money on that. That'd be
probably not. He's going
plus 3,000 odds at least. Some of the odds, though, I will say before I get to my pick on DraftKings is they're pretty crazy. I mean, Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet are always going to be, plus 200, plus 300 because they're the favorites. But like even Corey Days sometimes is like plus 1,200. I'm like, dang, it's so tempting to lose money, and I got to be careful. Anyways, Fremont Speedway, 3rd mile. I don't even know the entry list, but Man, this is tough.
You got to go Reitzel.
No,
You never pick Aaron Reitzel.
I never pick Aaron Reitzel. I
He's
just
going to win a
I don't-
bunch this year.
Yeah, I
Tell
mean,
me.
he was fast, like that last race that we actually bet on, but he hasn't been anywhere close to the top 5 in the last. I'm going to go Brad Sweet. I think he's
Okay.
due for one. I think he's like Peck, got a little fire in his belly after not his fault, but going end over end on Friday night. So I'm going to go the big cat, Brad Sweet for Fremont
All right.
on Wednesday.
Cool.
All right, now it's Ohsweken. I think there's Ohsweken. How do you say it? The logo is cool. It's like Indian feathers, I think.
In Canada,
In Canada, the maple syrup,
I wonder if they're
Great
going
White North.
to shit out of your race winnings.
Yeah, damn right. Tariffs are a thing. They're actually dropping them, I heard. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Or no,
That's
that's
good.
Chinese, maybe. Chinese tariff.
Yeah,
Never mind.
who knows?
All right, who you got for Ohsweken?
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna have to go stock standard. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go David Gravel. I'm gonna go with the one who hosed me last year with a broken rear end, and that is Logan Schuchart. He's my favorite outlaw driver most of the time, or one of them. I don't really have favorites, but I always like to watch his style. So I'm gonna go Schuchart. He's due.
Okay, Logan
Canada.
Schuchart in Canada.
Hey,
Hey, I have no idea. I'm taking a shot in the dark here. Let's go.
today, Junior.
I'm reading the article.
You're just gonna pick David Gravel and go.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's a low hanging fruit. I don't do that. I'm gonna go Buddy Kofoid. Screw it.
Oh, nice.
See, bold move.
Yeah, the Toyota. Hey,
Toyota. All right, Tara, who you got for Ohsweken?
Spencer Basin doesn't run with them.
Yeah,
else.
he doesn't run with them.
She doesn't know enough outlaws, probably. Go Donnie Schatz and call it a night.
David Gravel or David Hodenshield. Yeah. All right,
Sheldon.
well, that's Sheldon. Or did I say David? I'm sorry. Sheldon.
Yeah, it's all right.
My bad. I have David pulled up, so he's all over. He is the world of outlaws.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, she's going to take David Gravel. There you
All
go. Oh, there you go. She's probably going to win that one.
He does
All
some
right,
pretty
good
good
stuff.
videos.
He does, and the content's
He's probably
pretty
one
good.
of the outlaws who does more of it than any of them.
Yeah, and that's a 3/8 mile track, Ohsweken, Spencer
They'll
based.
probably have a lot of locals. That track draws huge car counts.
Yeah, just across the border. So anyway, that's a Dirt Dollar segment for tonight. Again, kind of a new segment for you guys, but we want you to play along. Again, not endorsing betting by any means. There's plenty of gambling helplines if you're addicted like Blair. But yeah, it's fun to talk about odds and who we think's going to win. So follow along throughout the year. We'll continue to do that and place our bets on our page so you can follow along with actually who we took. But yeah, now we're going to talk about where are we in the show? Oh, Blair's going to talk to you about the ASCS that I fumbled in the cold intro. What they got going on this weekend.
So Friday, ASCS Frontier Region. I don't know if this is the kickoff. I think they've already been back at it for one weekend. But the Frontier Region and Big Sky Speedway, that seems to that's a place I got to go. I got a lot of buddies that are starting to meet from up there in the north. And so Big Sky Speedway, Shepherd, Montana, that's a Frontier Region race, but I think they pretty much always have decent car counts. And a lot of people go. I'm not super familiar with that track. I was looking at it on the overhead. Looks like a big circle, but I've heard pretty good racing. Most of Montana
better than a road course, right?
Yeah,
big
for
circle.
sure. It looks like a big O.
Big O.
Yeah, they're there Friday and Saturday, so 2-night show.
There we go.
I want to make it up there at least. I know. And then we talked with Tanner Holmes. He said his favorite place was Electric City. So I thought those were the same place, but I don't know. I'm an idiot. So they got to be close together. But maybe somebody could let us know where they're at in Montana. But definitely, you know what's funny is I would love to race in all those places because it's not 110 degrees like when I have to go south for
Fair.
the summer. I'd rather go north. That's just a long tow.
Yeah, we can go racing at Ohsweken.
Yeah, they won't let me cross the border, eh?
Probably not. But yeah, and then you guys are off till the 16th of June to pick up on the Western Plains.
11th,
right?
June 11th.
11th.
I think they're back at Calhan. My plan's probably to go. We're still debating on going to Vado for Memorial Weekend.
Gotcha.
So then we'll cover a little bit of that. That's Spencer Hill, the series those guys all ran, the Southwest Desert Series sprint cars. So
Yeah.
Votto should be a pretty good turnout. That'll be a big show. It's only 2 classes. It's big late model and sprint car show. So if you don't have plans for Memorial Day weekend, we might make that tow. I'm still debating, but be a fun one.
There we go. All right. Well, that brings us into the Colorado weekend preview. So you got El Paso County racing this Saturday, May 17th. You got the Rocky Mountain Midget Racing Association on deck there. Nice little picture of Mr. Trimble, alumni on the poster there. Lightning Sprint stock cars, sport mods, hobby stocks, compacts, Warriors, and junior compacts. Nice picture of a Coors Light and a big old greasy cheeseburger. So I'm sure they'll have plenty of those. And then I-76 is running as well. The 17th, all IMCA classes, the Dorf National Championship night, which doesn't seem...
Yeah, they run it there every year now. They have big car counts and
already this early in the season?
A mid-season championship, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was looking at a wrong schedule, but
I don't know about like the whole season. I don't know. It's like a tour. I don't know. They bring in a bunch of guys. I know they come in from all over.
Gotcha. Okay. And
so
then
it's some sort of championship.
Yeah. And then the Colorado Outlaws, which I don't know what class that is.
270.
Oh, 270s. Yeah. Micro sprints there.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, Corey is racing one that was on the show.
Yeah. The 270s.
He's a car owner now.
Yeah. He just won actually. So congrats to Mr. Corey.
Yeah. Those are fun to watch.
Yeah. He's actually rebuilt the engines. He told me was that last year. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the Malo gang will be out there. And and then I believe Honor Speedway is running this weekend. But don't have that one pulled up, but running all their typical IMCA classes. So yeah, that's what we got on deck. If you're available this weekend, go support your local dirt track, grab a beer, grab a ticket, support your drivers, and give us something to talk about on the podcast. So yeah, short and sweet tonight. Did want to announce our special guest for next week. Yeah. We're very pumped about this one. Again, shot in the dark, but sometimes that's what you got to do. And so Blair, if you want to tell us who is coming on the show next week.
So speaking of high limit series, the announcer, if you've watched any of them, you've heard his voice. They show him quite a bit up in the booth, but Chase Rodman, we were debating. I don't ever hear how to say his name, but we'll find out.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out. But anyway, that's pretty exciting. So he's the guy in the sky covering all the races, does an excellent job. Has really made a name for himself there, and we're excited to talk to him. So we'll get a little bit of info about what it's like traveling with the series, what he thinks of what they're doing, and obviously he's been around, so should be interesting and have some good stories to tell. We're excited.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can't even imagine. I mean, I just try to listen to, like, you could tell at the end of tonight at Kokomo, like he's about to lose his voice because he's there and he's just painting a picture for you, up in the booth. But hopefully we can get him animated on the show and get that announcer voice out of him. But yeah, super excited. So next Monday, what is that? The 19th, May 19th, 7:30 p.m. Mountain. We'll be live with Chase Rodman from the High Limit Sprint Car Series, the announcer. So super pumped to have him, as Blair said. And just keep an eye on our page for content. Still trying to grow that YouTube page. So if you haven't already, go find us, Scrubbing Tires Media, on YouTube. Mash that subscribe button, and you'll get a notification anytime we, pump out content on our YouTube page. We're still obviously live on Facebook and do a lot of our stuff on Facebook. That's just where our kind of home base is. But appreciate the listenership, viewership, all the engagement on our posts outside of podcasts. You guys are really, driving it and engaging with us, which is cool to see. We do have that mailbag. It's posted on our page. If you guys have a question, comment for Blair and I, actually, while we're chit-chatting, let me just pull that up, see if we have one. I haven't checked it in a little bit, but if you have any recommendations, any guests that you would like us to try to get on the show, by all means, drop us a line there. And I am going to try to pull that up and see if we got any responses. Other than Blair being quacky, we do not. So, Yeah, so we'll drop it again. I'll drop it when we drop this episode after tonight. I'll drop the mailbag post or link, I should say, and just drop us a line. Tell us how good we're doing or whatever you want to say. And if you have a question, we can put it out there live as well. So you will remain anonymous. No anything to sign up. It's free. Do whatever you want to do on there. So, but anyway, appreciate it all and really looking forward to next week. And as always, continue to like, share, tell your friends about us, trying to grow regionally, nationally. So there's only one way to do that, and that's through you guys. So
What's funny?
Go ahead.
Just that the numbers we're going to have to start. So if anybody knows, we basically outdo AM radio stations. I was looking at our analytics.
Really?
So this little dirt podcast has grown. So we appreciate you guys very much. I have a good time doing it. It's just an idiot talking about racing, but it's a good time. So yeah, we're West Texas AM radio. We crushed those guys.
Yeah. Take that, West Texas. Good stuff. All right. Well, that's all for Blair and I tonight. Again, set your calendars, 7:30 Mountain. I will be in Virginia, but we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to have fun with it. So Chase Rodman next Monday, and we'll see you all there. And everybody have a great week. If you're participating locally or nationally or regionally, look at you in the fancy Yeti Cup. If you're participating locally, regionally, nationally, from the next time we talk to you, good luck out there. Be safe. And until next time, Blair's got the salute. Keep throwing those sliders.
This was another production of Scrubbin' Tires Media. The Throwin Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio was created by Bryce Holcomb. Please like, share, and leave a 5-star review. And as always, keep throwing those sliders.